your top 5 greatest NBA players of all time put by each position. So you can only put a point guard in a point guard position. I'm just going to say this because all basketball players try to be super smart. Shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. You can't use our modern players and just put them all in
where you want to put them.
Yeah. So I want people to actually pick who they think is the best at each position.
Okay. When I think about it, I always think of it from where I couldn't not pick this guy. If this guy was at the point, if I needed a point guard and this is who I would pick Magic. I would pick Magic. There's not that other people aren't good, but for me, he was, yeah. I mean, again, stuff. Not that you can't. There's other people you see do things, but Magic was Magic. Then obviously at the 2, I think Jordan's a no-brainer. For me, I think, it's not even just the fact. I mean, it's interesting that new documentary's come out. It's the right time for it to come out too. It's got people watching from everywhere.
Yeah.
But the idea that this guy, and somebody explained this to me when I was really young. They said at that time most people won games with a dominant center.
Yep.
He was one of the only people that won multiple competitions. 6 with their next best player was another guard, or even an undersized big in Rodman. Yeah. That's scary to me.
Yeah, he changed the NBA. That's when the NBA stopped worrying about big players and they went after more skilled players. Yeah.
And it made me have almost. I know some people will get off the way he talked to his teammates and all those things. Some of those things were part of that era and what that looked like, and whether or not it would be acceptable now, none of us know because we ain't in NBA locker rooms. but
not yet for you. There's hope.
Yeah. Let's see where we go. Maybe WNBA locker rooms. The one thing I would say is watching it and watching his mindset and being like, I want to be the best player in the world. When he went into North Carolina and the coaches turned around and saying to him, that's not it. If you want to be the best, why are you complaining about the hours you're putting in? And then he's like, okay, and then put in the hours. That to me is that goes back to your point. This guy just constantly evolved. And my argument would be he would do it in any era.
Yeah, and just quickly, I literally, it's going to sound insane, but I actually followed his blueprint of being able to dunk and then his mid-range. And I watched my JUCO highlight tape today and I didn't realize I literally shot loads of mid-range jump shots and I got most of my buckets off that. So he changed the way everybody approached the game. It was an understatement if people didn't say everybody wanted to be like Mike.
Yeah. Now going back to the small forward spot, because now we're on the spot, now I've not watched a ton of NBA because I watch a lot of women's basketball now. I watch a lot of NCAA women's basketball, a ton of it, and then a lot of British basketball if I can, because I have to, and then a lot of the European youth stuff to prepare. So there's only so many games people can watch every single week, But, I mean, if I was being sneaky, I think there's an argument for if Giannis is considered a 3, maybe I would. He's quite scary. Hasn't done it yet, but I know I can't consider him in there. So, but he's one that I would have loved to think about. But for me, again, if you look back at what they've done and what they did and the way they dominated the game, how can I leave him off though? See, this is the struggle.
I know who I know one player that you want to put there, but I'm guessing the other player you want to put there. But I want you to say it just in case. I'll write it down on paper. What's his name? I put what? It's either this or this. I just put them.
I feel like it's a conversation between Larry Bird and LeBron James.
Oh wow! I got the numbers right. I just got the players wrong. Just to show you guys.
Who did you think?
33 and 23.
33 and 23.
Huh. 33 and 23. So I got the numbers right. I just got the player wrong.
Who was your numbers for?
I thought you was going to say Pippen.
Yeah, no. I don't think Pippen was better than Bird.
That's a good call. And if
I don't think
you put Bird on this list, I'll tell you there's only one other person who put Bird on their top 5 list.
see, but the other, it's hard because you've taken Kobe out because you've got Jordan.
Yeah.
Really you could say LeBron's a 3. So I think it would have to be down to LeBron or Bird. And the thing is, this is the challenge. If you were just building a team from scratch, you might say LeBron. But if you were looking at the best pure 3-man to ever play the game, I can't look further past Larry Bird. And I still think in the modern game, with the training and the way that we have sports psychologists and the fitness, look at what the guy's gone on. He wasn't stupid, like he would have just reinvented himself. And so, yeah, I mean, so I would say I'm going to leave. I can't believe I'm leaving LeBron off, but I would say Larry Bird.
Bird. Should I tell you who else put Bird on their top?
Who?
Lee Emptage.
This guy gets lost. He gets lost in history, and it's because he's white and because he doesn't have the highlights. Like he's Larry Bird. He's not done. He's not.
Wait. Is Larry Bird your small forward? Yeah.
I'm playing him at power forward. I appreciate that he might get overpowered.
Did he really?
Yeah, he put
Lee
Bird in there. Yeah, he put Bird in there. That's solid.
Power forward's easy. Tim Duncan to me. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I'm a solid fundamentals guy. So to see a guy do what he did with his athleticism or lack thereof it, what he did with his mind and a system, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Not that other people weren't very good. There were loads of good players across loads of generations, and look at what he consistently did to them. Look at what he did when he had David Robinson and that Twin Towers concept came back into the 2 big men, and then we'll look at what he did without those guys.
Yeah,
he would be the power forward for me that is a game changer. At the center, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's Shaq. I just don't think if you were in the era of Shaq and you really watched what he did in games, so who was it that said this? Barkley or KJ said this best, and these guys are perennial all-stars. They said, when you think about players, there's everybody else that are human, and then there's Shaq. Because this guy was so dominant, dunking on people, and just a bully. Like, at the center spot, I know if I'm playing or if I'm picking a team to coach, he's definitely one of my first picks.
Oh, of course.
Because you could do so much with him.
Of course.
I just think, like, sometimes, like, I just remember watching the footage of those games, of some of those battles between Magic and Bird, even the college battle between Magic and Bird. And Bird was phenomenal as well.
And a lot of people forget, towards the end of his career, he had loads of injuries.
Yeah.
He had loads
and I think this is the thing that I would say as well, as a caveat, and hopefully you keep this bit in, but LeBron might be a better player than 3 or 4 of those players, or 2 or 3 of those players. But is he a better positional player than any of those players? I would argue no.
That's fair.
And that's the challenge about the best of all time, maybe a little bit different to the best.
8,